Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. And in this video, we are going to talk about how do you start coding if you are a beginner or if you just entered your college university in the starting first year, and if you want to take up this journey forward into this industry, or if you are from some other industry and you want to switch between industries, if you want to get into the software industry and want to have a career or a future in this industry forward, then coding is going to be one of the most important and most essential skills that you're going to require as a software engineer. And there are generally a lot of misconceptions and doubts generally with people who are just starting out as to how do you start with coding, which platform do you use to prepare to learn a particular language, which language should you use, and then do you have to make projects, and then how to know which particular domain of computer science that you want to get into. So if you have any of these doubts or a subset of these doubts, and if you are just starting out, a beginner in your programming or coding journey, so this video is going to be really helpful for you. Okay, so first and foremost, before you decide to start on this journey, you should have a very solid, very clear reason in your head as to why you want to get into the tech industry or aspire to become a software engineer. Because if you're not very solid with your reasons, and if you're just influenced by some other person, then you might just lose interest after a while and you might burn out, because it might not be very easy for you to continue because there are demotivations and you might get demoralized eventually in the journey. So let's have it clear in your head as to what is the reason that is motivating you to get into this field, first of all. So basically, you should not be influenced by some other person or some of your friend who is actually a part of this industry, because you might be having several misconceptions as to what is the work life, what perks do they get, what salaries are they paid. Yes, it is true that in some companies, software engineers, especially the senior level software engineers, are paid extremely high salaries. But then all these should not be your reasons for why you should want to start to learn how to code or get into this industry. Because even in case if you are interested or influenced by the tech industry, then there are a lot of other roles or options that you have which do not require you to know how to code at all. Because there are like managerial roles, there are HR roles, there are product management, project management roles. All of these do not require you to actually know how to program. Basic technical knowledge is required, which is definitely very different from learning how to actually code. And that's why you should first be very clear that it is definitely the specifically software developer role that you want to take up, and only then should you continue watching this video further. So now that you know that you have to actually decide how to learn to code, you need to decide the domain of computer science that you first want to get started with. Because as you know, computer science is a very, very vast field, and there are so many different domains which are completely unrelated to each other as well. So for example, if you want to get into web development, if you want to build scalable websites and portals, then you should first start with front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, basic languages, and then you can move on to back end and then server side databases as well. Otherwise, if you want to start with, let's say, mobile development, building apps for your phones, iOS, Android apps, then you can start with Java or Kotlin. And then you can even start with learning Python, for example, if you're interested in building chatbots that you can converse with, or like recommendation search engines, databases, datasets, visualizers. All of these can be done very easily in Python. So your first language is going to be heavily dependent on what area or what domain of computer science that you want to get started with in the beginning. And then one of the most fundamental and basic parts of computer science is data structures and algorithms, and the knowledge of solving problems using basic DSA concepts. So in all of the companies that you might want to aspire for, interviews generally involve questions on data structures and algorithms. And the good part about that is you can choose any language to implement data structures and algorithms in. So I would personally suggest either go for C++, Java, or Python, or even JavaScript, according to you. But generally, most people would consider Python to start with because its syntax is very easy to understand and even write in. So Python is very similar to English. So the very first language is your own personal choice. But do understand that moving from one language to another is very easy for almost all developers once you have experience with basic programming fundamentals. So only the first language is going to take a little time to learn, but then it's going to be very easy to transition to different technologies. So now that you've decided on your first particular language, where do you actually start writing your code at? So there are these softwares known as IDEs, which stand for Integrated Development Environment. And these are basically softwares or tools that are used to write and manage your code and projects. So basically, you can actually write your code in some online compiler as well. You can just go to any portal and find an online IDE for specific compilers and languages, and you can practice there as well. But later on, when you'll be building projects, small scale, large scale applications, and you will have to manage them, so there will be a pretty large code base that you would want to go back and forth at. And that is where your IDE will definitely come in handy for you, because it offers a lot of features and functionalities that helps you find things and navigate through your code base very easily. So you will have to install a particular IDE first, and then set up some path variables accordingly. If you're using Windows or Mac OS, then it might differ according to the operating system. You can Google all of that part, but you will need an IDE first. So then which is the specific IDE that you should go with? Depends entirely on the language, but I'll just tell you the famous ones. So for example, if you're starting out with Java, then for Java, the most famous IDEs are IntelliJ and Eclipse. So I personally recommend IntelliJ for this, IntelliJ by IDEA. But if you're using, let's say, C++, then you can go ahead with Sublime Text or with Code Blocks. These are very good IDEs. And for Python users, there's only one IDE that almost all developers use, which is PyCharm. So depending on the language, you should install the specific IDE. And later on, if you want to switch, you can also have different path variables set out for different languages in your OS. So you can have multiple IDEs that you're going to use simultaneously. Okay, so now once you have your IDE installed and set up for where you're going to write your code, you first need to learn the language to be able to practice your code on that IDE. So where do you learn the language from? So honestly, there are a lot of resources available online for free. And I would really suggest you to go for only free resources in the beginning. Later on, you can get some paid courses as well, but start with free resources. You can, for example, if you want to learn Python, just go to YouTube, search for Python tutorial for beginners, exactly this, and just there will be playlists listed. Just go for either one of the top rated playlist or the one which has most like ratio or views. You can just go through every video one by one in the order that they have been listed, and that is going to be your basic looping, control structures, functions, variables, data types. They are going to cover all of the basics in that language. Similarly, if you want Java, just go for Java tutorials on YouTube and you'll find all the resources. And then once you know the basic syntax, you will have to practice some basic questions on every single topic. For example, once you study loops, you can try printing some patterns that they have using loops. Once you study functions, you can implement smaller functions to get the area of different figures, or to have some operations done in between two numbers or something like this. So basic questions on every looping control structure, and then you're done with the basics of the language. After that, you can, I would personally suggest going for either Geeks for Geeks or HackerRank, which is both the platforms which I personally used in the beginning to practice more questions on that specific language. So for example, if you go to HackerRank, there is a practice section available for every single language. So just choose the language, go to the practice section, and they will have a lot of questions where every single question is based on one particular topic or concept of programming in that language. So just solve all the easy and then medium questions, which will help you cover all the topics in that specific language. HackerRank is what I use personally to cover the basics of the language. You can also use Geeks for Geeks, which has a similar UI and portal where you can, it also has theoretical material, so you can choose a language and then read some theory on it, and then also solve some questions later on. So both of these platforms actually provide you their online IDEs to write and compile your code in. But since we've already installed an IDE by now, so you can also practice writing in your local environment itself. And once you're done with all this, you should be pretty much done with your basics of that specific language. And you might also find questions which have MCQ format, where there's a snippet of a code given and you are required to predict or guess the output of the code. So these kind of questions help you a lot in strengthening your basics in the initial days. So just search for MCQ problems on, let's say, C++ online, and you will find the resources for these as well. And once you cover this, you can actually go ahead and learning data structures and algorithms in that specific language. So again, for that, you can use Geeks for Geeks, HackerRank, or my personal recommendation would be to start with LeetCode and start out with easy problems, very easy problems, and then move on to the medium ones, the harder ones. And this will take some time, but once you're done with DSA as well, if you want, you can go over to competitive programming on CodeChef, Codeforces, different resources. So this is how you can completely master that specific language. And by the way, there is one very important point I forgot, which is about the knowledge of debugging. So when you're learning a specific language, when you're in that process, you'll be coming across a lot of errors very often. So they can be syntactical errors, they can be output errors, they can be errors regarding how to perform a particular task in that specific language, what is the function or the predefined inbuilt function for that. So all these different kind of errors are going to be a part of your learning journey, and that is why you should definitely master the art of debugging, or looking at a solution for your particular problem, which is where Googling comes into the picture. So you should know how to search for your error, either Google it, or there are platforms available, developer communities like Stack Overflow, Stack Exchange, and mostly you will find every error that you come across already asked in these platforms. And that is how you should uh, become pretty good at understanding a problem and then finding the solution to it. And this is going to help you be very self-dependent, completely independent, and not waiting for someone else, some instructor or mentor, to guide you further. So you should not stop your learning process because you are stuck at one particular error that you're finding. And now, if you have arrived till this stage, then a very important aspect of taking your learnings and putting it into practical usage is to build projects. So definitely start building with like smaller scale projects. So you can just search or Google them for ideas. I also have another video where I've created all the project ideas that you can use for specific different domains of computer science, different languages. So you can check that video out. I'll put its card over here somewhere in the description also. And so start out with projects. To look for project ideas, you can also search on GitHub some repositories. People have already implemented all forms of projects that you can find, and you can take inspiration from them. So for example, if you were learning, let's say, HTML, CSS, JS, if you have covered a framework like React or Angular, you can make something on the front end portion, like a basic user interface for some website. You can make a clone for a very famous portal. You can make some interactive resumes, some like calculator projects, very small projects. And then later on, once you're done with that, you can also not only move on to the bigger large scale projects, but you can try incorporating different areas or different tools, domains into one. For example, let's say you have a project on full stack development where you've used your front end portions, your back end knowledge, and then you have a server where you're interacting with front end and back end. You might also incorporate machine learning into it. You might have a model which takes data from the server, and then basically whatever you have, some visualizer, plotting, predicting data set, you can apply some supervised learning, and then it prints out your results. You can compare the results, showcase them on your front end UI. So you can have a lot of these interactions from like web to mobile, and then integrate ML with them. So the possibilities are just endless in this domain, and you can try experimenting, having fun, exploring more. And later on, when you go on to build even like very large scale projects, not only can you showcase them on your GitHub profile, you can add them on your resume, on your CV, and this is going to really stand out with other people who are trying to apply for some position. So this is definitely going to be a very, very important part of your learning. To whatever you've learned, implement them, actually make something productive out of it. And the best part about all of this is because this field, computer science, as you already know, it has so many, an area breadth of different opportunities to offer at its disposal. So you can not only is it the path that you probably need to get a job after learning a language, become a software engineer at some organization. You can just go all out with opportunities in your college years. You can take up some internships where you will actually get to implement something at a very large scale, and then will learn a lot during the process. Other than that, you can also take up freelancing tasks, or freelancing, create a portfolio for yourself, as not only as a developer, as let's say an instructor. Once you know a language, you can teach it to other people as well, as some sort of a creator where a part of someone's project requires some knowledge that only you have. You can then offer your freelancing gigs to that client as well. And I will try to make up some videos specific to freelancing as well, based on what knowledge I have and some of my friends have. So that's going to give you a more broader perspective with different opportunities that you can take up, not just limited to getting a job and then that's it. So just try to explore as much as you can once you know a specific skill set, and make the best use out of it. And by the way, it's not that only like full-time software engineers are paid well. I'm only talking about paid internships here and paid freelancing gigs. So all of these have a pretty good opportunity to finance your education as well. While you're in college, you can start earning pretty well for yourself if you have the right skills to offer to someone. So just make sure you have the right skill set, and then go all out on opportunities. Try to explore as much as you can in your initial years as well. So yeah, that's what a basic path or a basic roadmap looks like for someone who is interested in learning how to code, how to program. And this is how your journey is going to unfold pretty much. And you can take as much benefit out of it, try as many new opportunities as possible. And I hope that this video really helped you decide on how you should take up your idea of learning a new programming language further. So if you have any doubts regarding this, put them down on the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer all of them. And if you appreciate the efforts in this video, then please do consider subscribing to this channel if you're a new viewer, because it's really going to help support the reach and will also motivate me to create better material in the future. So yeah, that was it for this particular one, and I'll see you again very soon with more helpful and more insightful information. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. Reach out to me on any of my socials. All links will be down in the description box. And yep, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again very soon.